Welcome back. You're watching the Citizen Business Center. Now, according to the Global Beauty Care Market 2014-2018 report, the global beauty care industry clocked revenues worth nearly 39 trillion shillings. That's in the year 2013, which is anticipated to reach 47 trillion shillings by the year 2018. A report released by Euromonitor International in 2014 pegged the Kenyan color cosmetics market as worth an estimated 5.4 billion shillings, with a projected growth of up to 6.6 billion shillings by the year 2018. Small wonder it's been a magnet for major global players in the beauty industry. Here are some of the big entrants that have entered Kenya's beauty product market. First is Oriflame, a Swedish company which came into the local scene in November 2008 through a direct sales model that has enabled it to expand into Uganda and Tanzania. Then came Paris-based cosmetics giant L'Oreal, which acquired the Nice and Lovely brands that were previously owned by local beauty firm Interconsumer Products. That was in April 2013. The deal was estimated at 3.5 billion shillings. In May of 2012, Estée Lauder officially launched its products in Kenya through a franchise agreement with Linton's Beauty World. In February 2013, New York-listed Revlon Cosmetics entered into an exclusive franchise deal with Nakumatt Holdings, which launched a cosmetic division. The regional retailer invested about 87 million shillings into marketing Revlon products. House of Tara from Nigeria came into the local market in December 2014. Now, another French cosmetics giant Lancôme came into the market in October 2015. Other recent entrants to the Kenyan market include Sleek, Flormar and Maybelline. Now, barely a month ago, listed farm Flame Tree Group signed a deal to acquire Kenyan color cosmetics brand Suzie Beauty, making it the latest buyout deal in a string of acquisitions of Kenyan personal care brands by larger firms. What did it take for Suzie Beauty to grow her business and create an attractive package for a buyout? What is it about Kenya's beauty products and personal care market that has caught the eye of investors, and what do you need to know if you are keen on setting up a business in the industry? Tonight in studio we've got Heril Bangera, the CEO of Flame Tree Group. He's an entrepreneur with over 25 years of business experience, having founded Roto Molders, a plastic tanks manufacturing company, in 1989. Heril holds a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Bangalore University, India, and we've got Suzie Wokabi, the founder, not CEO anymore, of Suzie Beauty. She ventured into the cosmetics business in March 2009 and holds a bachelor's degree in international relations from USI, that's the United States International University. Thank you so much both for joining us. Quite an exciting space. If that, particular research on all these firms that have come into this market is anything to go by, and how much more to celebrate since you're both, authentic Kenyan brands. Suzie, after 7 years, you've sold your business for what we believe is quite a handsome sum. Did you ever imagine that this, could happen?
I think every entrepreneur starts their business with that in mind. I did not think it would happen this soon. And it came across as, for me, a blessing in disguise. We've always been looking for the right partners, never quite got it right, and met Heril, sort of mid last year, and started the conversation, and quite slowly, and came to an agreement towards the end of the year. And I remember I was telling you we'll have something to announce soon.
Yes, so I remember that.
This is that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
What is the current status of the acquisition? I know it is still awaiting approval.
That's
Heril?
right. That's right. We've signed an agreement to take over the brand, and Suzie Wokabi will join us as the CCO. That's the Chief Creative Officer, still leading the brand and protecting the brand's values. However, for us, we've signed an agreement with them, and we still await for approval from the authorities to complete the deal.
What can you tell us about the deal?
The deal is that for us as Flame Tree, we see that it's a growing market. It's a market that we want to be in. We presently aren't in the color cosmetics makeup sector. The sector is growing faster than the growth of the economy. As you said, the numbers are there. It's a market we want to be. And what we saw with the Suzie Beauty brand is that it's a brand that has a strong traction within the Kenyan market. It has values that we ourselves within Flame Tree believe in. And we believe it was a good fit.
All right. Suzie, I know we've had your story, or I have had your story, and a couple of us have as well. But tell us a little bit about your journey to those who are watching tonight who do not know anything about Suzie Beauty.
Sure. I started Suzie Beauty about 7 years ago, and it came from a bit of a frustration point of view, because I was looking for really good quality product that was actually affordable in this market, and the state of the retail cosmetics market was not as such. Every single product was imported, everything was so overpriced, and it came to a point I was working as a makeup artist in the industry, and it came to a point where it was hard for me to afford to buy product to work with, let alone use for myself. And I realized I can't be the only one lacking this. It's me and a bunch of us, including probably you. So I decided to create my own product. I think it's always been somewhere in the back of my mind for many years, and I decided to take that step forward. It was 3 years in the making of research and development, of testing the product in the market, finding the right manufacturers, and then fundraising to actually launch the product. So it was a 3-year process, and then we've since been retailing in the market since about May of 2012.
All right. Heril, Flame Tree has been on quite a fast-paced acquisition spree, especially in the personal care and beauty segment. There's Miss Africa, Black Angel, Beauty Plus, Mona Lisa, all these lines in such a short time. What are you looking for in that space? What are you seeing in that space?
We've done 3 acquisitions since our listing. The first was within the food, and the next 2 were within the cosmetics sector. Both of these were within the FMCG. For our business, we have our manufacturing and plastic side, trading side, but our focus, and we believe the growth, is within the FMCG. So we have looked and got the opportunities to buy within the FMCG. And we believe cosmetics, which we are talking about, especially the color cosmetics, is growing fast. It's a market that we can't avoid to miss.
Suzie, what's in it for you? Did you make a lot of money from it?
Funny. What's in it for me, actually the most important thing is my brand to get to the next level and to grow into everything that I'd ever envisioned it to be. And I feel like thus far, us as the founders, my husband and I, we did everything we could for the brand, grew it to where it could get with our resources and abilities. But now with the backbone of Flame Tree, this is when now it can get to that next level, and of course eventually go global, and as soon as possible almost.
I find it curious, and this is a thing they say entrepreneurs have. Many of them want to stick to your brand and baby it for as long as you can, either because you do not think you're going to get the right partner who believes in your vision and what you want for the brand, and thereby stop the scaling in a sense, because then as you correctly mentioned, you realized that you had reached the ceiling in as far as where yourself and your husband could reach.
Yes.
For the benefit of entrepreneurs who might be in that space, what are some of the questions you asked yourself before you said, okay, I'm going to let go and let the business grow? So
for me, the #1 priority was the right partner. That was extremely important. We've had partners in the past, and alignment is a very simple word, but a very important word. So the chemistry, with the partner, when we met Heril, it was instant. Like, I knew that this could go somewhere in the right way, and exactly trusting my gut. So that's the #1 thing, alignment. And then just having the same vision. We definitely have the same founding values in both our companies, and for me, it's such a privilege to have an African-based brand to take Suzie Beauty to the next level. It could be any other conglomerate from anywhere in the world, but it's an African. So we're all about Africa. We're all about the same thing. So that's the that's hugely important, and somebody needs to realize what are their priorities in order to get to the right partner. Yeah.
Heril, Flame Tree is a listed company, and of course you must be very careful and do due diligence before you put your money in or invest in any business. And I'm just wondering, what can entrepreneurs do, who are in a position where they say, I think my business is ready for the next level? What can they do? What should be right within their small businesses, so to speak?
I think the main thing is to make sure for them is to make sure a business is attractive that it's got its principles in place, it's got its revenue growth projections, and it's also got profits, and it's got a strong brand. Now then it becomes valuable for someone to look at as an asset to buy. If you don't have those principles or those numbers, then there isn't a business really to buy for them. So I think the main thing for entrepreneurs is to first start, make sure that you have a growth plan and to achieve those growth plans, so then the business is attractive.
All right, I want to ask from your experience, because the age-old question we hear in every interview where we're speaking to entrepreneurs, we've got people who want to start a business and they say, I have this great idea, but I do not have money. How did you start both your businesses, Suzie? Where did you get the money from?
I always say the fundraising stage of the business was the most painful, because as a startup, there's the stigma of a startup, like you don't know what you're doing, you haven't proven your concept and that type of thing. So you have to be really strong about your projection numbers and that type of thing, and then try and find the right partner. For the most part, it's not a very friendly, like, you can't go to a bank and get a loan for a new business. It's really hard to do that. So finding maybe a good investor, an angel investor, an individual, a chama. Now those people are doing great investments. So
you had chamas invest in you as well?
I had 2 investment groups, yes.
Heril?
For me, as you know my story, I started when my business when I was still 18 years old, still a student. In those days, I did get a little assistance from my dad for the initial seed capital to start the business. But I grew the business slowly, step by step. But I think there are many other things. I think you need passion. And you need dedication during the tough times, because there's going to be lots of those, and you've got to be patient. I think a lot of entrepreneurs in these days start a business thinking that there's going to be a quick return on the investment, but if you don't believe in it, then you're not going to achieve that. So I think passion is really important, and real commitment to the business. Just to add to that, I think it took us like nearly 8 years before we saw profits in our first business, and it's important to stay in there for it.
Now, we were just reading earlier Shark Tank, a quote by one of the Shark Tank entrepreneurs who said, the man who starts a business on a bank loan is a moron. Do you agree with that?
I myself agree. Yeah. I'm adverse to over-borrowing. Yeah.
All right. I want to ask about men's personal care line, and globally it's very interesting just to see those numbers saying 3.3 trillion shillings globally, yet there seems to be such a large concentration on female care products. I don't know what your views might be about that.
Yeah, of course, the female is the priority, but I actually created a men's line which sits waiting to be launched, because so many men ask about it, and so many men are getting more conscious and metrosexual. Nobody likes that word, but they're getting, they're not using the same one soap for their hair, their face, and their body anymore. They're doing their shampoo, they're doing their their facial stuff, and then their body stuff. So it's a segment that is important, and we'll cater to one day, I think. Yeah.
As we wind up, Heril, what would your word of advice be to somebody who's keen to tap into this, predicted 5.6 billion shilling industry by the year 2018?
I think it's a fast-moving industry. There's room for many players to come in. I think as the middle class is growing, so is the disposable income. So it's a business that we as Flame Tree see an opportunity, and I'm sure there's an opportunity for everyone.
All right. All right, thank you so much, Suzie Wokabi. I know I always say Suzie Beauty.
Just call me Suzie Beauty.
And now we'll have to get used to your new title, which is the
Chief Creative Officer.
Chief Creative Officer.
And Brand Ambassador.
And Brand Ambassador of Suzie Beauty.
Yes.
And Heril Bangera, the CEO of Flame Tree, sharing with us your experiences and, of course, the acquisition. And we wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a short break now. We'll be back with more right after this break, including a look at smartphones.